What's up, y'all? Got this Pennsylvania Derby coming up here on Saturday. Now, this one was supposed to be a much bigger race than it's probably going to turn out to be. We were supposed to see Medina Spirit coming back, running up against Hot Rod Charlie again, running up against Midnight Bourbon again. However, Baffert decided to chicken out and pull Medina Spirit. She says he didn't like the post draw coming out in the 9 spot. He wanted the horse to come out on the inside. I mean, I think he's splitting hairs there. I think he was really just scared of Hot Rod Charlie, honestly. Maybe even scared of Midnight Bourbon. Who knows? He's lost to Midnight Bourbon before Medina Spirit as well. So anyway, he said he didn't like the draw, so he's going to keep the horse out in California, probably going to run the Awesome again. So no Medina Spirit here. I didn't think the horse was in that great a shape. Medina Spirit got a win in the Shared Belief, a lackluster win over Rock Your World in a mile. So I thought the horse probably would have gotten beat here. Anyway, Baffert probably thought the same thing. So no Medina Spirit for this one. So let's go. We got the number 1 Folsom. This is an Instant Mischief horse. His mother's father's distorted humor, so some decent breeding here. Brad Cox training this one. Florent Giraud riding the horse at 12-1. Now those morning odds are off because the morning odds have Medina Spirit in there. I readjusted the odds a bit myself. I bumped this horse down to a 10-1. But at any rate, this horse was the winner of the Smarty Jones Stakes at this same Parks Race Course after running 3rd in the Indiana Derby. Had a win in the Matt Win at Churchill Downs. That was a decent win. Horse showed some ability in that one. Came back, got a win in the Smarty Jones. Not much competition there. Pretty lackluster win, but was able to get the win. Not the kind of challenge you face at Churchill Downs, though. But the horse is back, working out pretty decent. 1 minute breathing time, breezing 5 furlong. So we want to keep an eye on Folsom, I think. Number 2 is Keep Me in Mind. After running the Derby, this horse, 3rd in the Ohio Derby, 2nd in the Jim Dandy, 4th in the Travers. I just don't think this horse is really up to speed with these other horses, at least going 9 furlongs. I think they need to go mile or less. At any rate, Keep Me in Mind is back now. Joel Rosario's riding him. So Rosario rode him in the Travers, rode him in the Jim Dandy. Wasn't really able to get too much out of him after switching on to him. Rosario does have a win in this race, though. He won with Frosted in 2015, so maybe he can try to whip something up here. I think Frosted's a better horse and Keep Me in Mind. But we'll see. We'll see. I know a lot of people are going to like this horse. They had him at 8-1 in the morning odds. I bumped him down to a 4-1 just because I think other people are going to like him. Don't really like the horse too much myself, though. At any rate, number 3, we got Speaker's Corner. Interesting horse here out of Street Sense. Mother's Father's Bernardini. So this horse, a Bill Mott horse, problem with him is he's never gone anything over 7 furlongs, but he's got a couple of decent 7 furlong races. Got a maiden special weight, one at 123. A allowance race at Saratoga, one at 122. So running at Saratoga, you're not running against chumps. So he got that win there at Saratoga. Now they bring him over here, going this new distance. I don't know if that's going to bother the horse or not. His breeding says that he could probably handle it, but I don't know. He's never done it before on a track. Got Jose Ortiz riding him, so we got an accomplished jockey riding him. Bill Mott, like I said, is the trainer. He's won this race twice before, in 98 with Rock and Roll, and he won in 2011 with the Honor and Serve. So Speaker's Corner. If you like a long shot, that might be one you want to keep in mind. I bumped him down to 8-1 from 12-1 they had him at. I'm thinking that's because of the jockey. Jockey and the trainer, I think some of the wise guys are going to jump on that one. At any rate, the 4, we got Weyburn. This one's a Pioneer of the Nile horse. Mother's father is AP Indy. Strong breeding on this horse to go a mile and a quarter or longer, which means that's good to go the mile and an eighth. However, no speed. Weyburn's another one of those horses like Keep Me in Mind. It's one of those 3-year-olds I think probably will be better as a 4-year-old. after he develops a little bit more, but he just hasn't been able to keep up in these races. He's been beaten by Bourbonic and the Wood in that very slow Wood Memorial. Lost to Mandaloon in the Pegasus. Lost to Essential Quality and Keep Me in Mind in the Jim Dandy. I don't expect him to have too much more here. They switched the jockey to Paco Lopez. If Irad Ortiz couldn't get anything out of him, I'm not expecting Lopez to be able to. A lot of people are still going to like this horse, and hey, maybe he starts to develop, starts to take that notch up that I think he's probably going to take in his 4-year-old year. Maybe he makes that in this race, but I don't really think so. Another weird thing I noticed, he's never been in a fast race. The paces have always been slow. I mean, the fastest pace, I think he has 47. All the finishing times have been slow. So he's never really been in a race that's even that fast. And he still can't do it. So, I don't know. Don't like him in this one. Number 5, I Am Redeemed. This horse is a Pennsylvania-bred horse out of Redeemed. Mother's father, Smarty Jones, one of my favorite horses, but I don't like that breeding on the other side. Jockey here is Abner Adorno. Yes, they got this horse at 20-1 for good reason. I actually left him at 20-1. Probably will go off higher than that. Got a couple of wins though. Allowance race at Parks. Yeah, you got a win in the Stormcat. Just not great times. Not facing great horses. So he's going to have to go this distance a little bit longer than that Stormcat at 1 mile and 1/16. He's going a full 9 furlongs this time, facing much better horses. I think the horse is not that bad of a horse. I just don't know if he's going to be able to win. I mean, this is some tough horses he's going to have to beat in this one. Number 6, we got Bourbonic back again, back to his original jockey, Kendrick Caramouche. 12-1, they had the odds on this one. I think they'll drop him to 10-1. People are going to like this horse once again because of the name. He ran in the Derby, won the Wood, so people kind of like that, even though that Wood was very slow. Trained by Todd Fletcher, people are going to like that too. Sired well, Bernardini, who's out of AP Indy, mother's father's Fleet Alex. So another one that looks like he's probably going to be really good as a 4-year-old. I think he just didn't seem to pop as a 3-year-old. Haven't seen him do much since that Wood win, which was very slow. Like I said, 16 lengths off in the Derby, 15 lengths off in the Belmont. Then he goes in the West Virginia Derby, 3rd in that one, 2 lengths off in that one, at a 1:52 time in 1 mile and 1/8. That is slow, but not quite as slow as that Wood. But hey, that's about as good as he's ever done. So I don't expect this horse to do too much in this race either. He's going to be off the pace. Doesn't recover very well unless the pace is extremely slow and the competition is slow. Not the case today. Number 7. Going to be the favorite, Hot Rod Charlie. They got him at 5-2. I actually dropped the odds to 6-5 due to the lack of Medina Spirit. Horse got a win in the Haskell. They just qualified him for Clipping Heels with Midnight Bourbon. I don't really think that made much of a difference. If anything, it probably affected Hot Rod Charlie more than anything because you don't want to make contact with anybody when you're trying to close. But anyway, he was disqualified in the Haskell. Mandaloon was given the victory. He got the win by a nose. It was close, but I think he would have done better had he not clipped heels with Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon took a tumble, but he was all right. So he was actually back to running the Travers, ran a decent race there. So we got them back here facing each other again. There's going to be a case on the pace. Who's going to have the lead in this one? Hot Rod Charlie's likely to be probably going to be near the lead. Don't know if he's going to take it. That's going to be close depending on what the pace is. But as I say, I got this horse at 6-5 for good reason. He's coming off a disqualified win. I expect the jockey to be much more careful and much more determined in this one. But the competition's still there. Like number 8, Midnight Bourbon, as I was just talking about, after not finishing that Haskell. I mean, he did have a second place in that Preakness before the Haskell, so he's coming out looking good in the Haskell. Still didn't think he had enough to really get the win there, but he ran pretty well in that one. Actually ran a really good mile. I think he ran a bit too fast, but then slowed down, got clipped, tripped up, came back in the Travers, ran second. They call that a neck. I guess that was a neck, behind Essential Quality in the Travers. So horse looks good. Horse looks good. Ricardo Santana Jr. is back aboard him again. He rode him in the Travers. Asmussen training this horse. Good jockey-trainer combo there. I mean, it's no Fletcher Velasquez or anything, but those guys do well together. I just don't know about this horse's ability. I just think he's so much better of a miler. I say that about a lot of these horses, but they want to stretch him out and try to get these wins over a mile because that's where the money resides. But I don't know if he's going to have enough for this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Still 3 years old. He's still growing. Midnight Bourbon might be able to take over and get this win here. However, he has been beaten 3 times by Hot Rod Charlie in the past. Lost to him in that Louisiana Derby, lost to him in the Kentucky Derby, lost to him in the Haskell. So we'll see if he can get him here in this 4th time. Next up we have, which would have been the Medina Spirit 9 scratched, number 10, American Revolution. Another interesting horse. Luis Saez riding this one. Saez back facing Flavien Prat again. If we remember the debacle from the Kentucky Derby a couple years ago with Maximum Security and War of Will, and we had Country House. Country House was ridden by Flavien Prat. He's the one that actually launched the complaint, not War of Will and Tyler Gafflin. So I mean, I know Luis Saez probably just has something in for Flavien Prat. Now he's facing Prat again here. Pratt's going to be on the favorite. I know it's probably nothing more he would like than to beat Prat. He's got a decent opportunity. American Revolution's a Constitution horse who's out of Tapit. His mother's father's Super Saver. Super Saver, slow Derby winner, but hey, he did something. Todd Fletcher, another Todd Fletcher horse. Now this horse is coming off 3 in a row. I think he's a New York bred. Pretty sure he's New York bred. Going to be near the front probably. 3 wins in a row. Maiden special weight in Belmont. Got a win in the New York Derby at Finger Lakes, if that really counts for getting a win at Finger Lakes for anything. And also got a win in the Albany at Saratoga. 5-length win, 1 1/8, 149. So yeah, decent win in Saratoga. That counts for something. So now he's coming over here to face the top dogs. And I don't know. When you have a horse like this coming off a win streak, hasn't faced a lot of competition before, you really don't know what he's going to do against this competition. So they had him 15-1. I dropped him to 12-1. If you're looking for a long shot, this might be another one you want to play in the win slot. If you think somebody can beat Hot Rod Charlie, you really don't know. But that's the kind of long shots I like to look for. Ones that are coming off of wins, but haven't really faced the competition yet, so you get good odds on them. But sometimes those horses are just, sometimes those horses are just good, and that's they got to run the races. And then same thing with the one Folsom, and this horse I Am Redeemed. Coming off of wins, don't know. However, as we say, pace makes the race. So I'm expecting it to be a respectable pace, 47-second. I am expecting, after a lot of thought, I was kind of thinking Hot Rod Charlie might just take off out of this one and try to wire this one. Just get out there aggressive, prove he's the best horse. But I'm kind of thinking he's not going to really do that unless it's given to him. I don't really think it's going to be given to him per se. There's no real front runner in the race, so there's no horse that's really going to take over the lead. So that can tend to happen sometimes when you have the horses that are a bit greener at the distance. So I'm thinking Speaker's Corner, the 3, is going to jump out to the lead. Jose Ortiz isn't going to let the horse get too wild, though. So I think he's going to get out there 47 seconds. I think closely behind him, we have Luis Saez with American Revolution. He's been tending to like to ride to the outside a lot, like to keep his horse out of trouble for good reason. So I think he'll be kind of sitting on the outside of that pace. Right behind him, I expect to we're going to see Hot Rod Charlie and we're going to see Midnight Bourbon right in there. I do think we're probably going to see Santana make that move on Midnight Bourbon first. Now, remember, he did that 134 to open up that Haskell in the mile. I don't think he's going to go quite so soon, even though he might. I think they're going to still be at 111 for the 3/4, and probably at a 135 for the mile. But I think Midnight Bourbon's going to bring it, and then Hot Rod Charlie's going to bring it right after that. You'll have to see these other two horses here, Speaker's Corner, and we'll have American Revolution having to try to dig down too. And then I think the race is going to be on. All those other horses, Bourbonic and Weyburn, Keep Me in Mind, Folsom, I Am Redeemed, they'll be sitting off the pace. They'll have to get it going. I think they're probably going to get into a bit of a battle there coming. Maybe they will do that mile in 134, come to think about it. I'm still thinking 135, but they'll get into a bit of a battle there going into that last furlong. I do think Folsom, out of those horses in the back of the pack, will be able to get it going. Florent Geroux riding this horse. He's familiar with him. He's got the win on the track. The horse has won on this track before. I think he will be able to get it going and get in there for a second place. Don't think he'll be able to get the win, though, because I think Hot Rod Charlie's just going to have too much for him. So I'm going with Hot Rod Charlie in the win. Folsom comes from behind to hit second place. Hanging in there for third, I've got Midnight Bourbon. Now, I think Midnight Bourbon may still run second. He's tough, liable to be in there, but I think he's just probably going to go a little bit too early. So I'm just telling you he's going to go a bit too early, like he did in the Haskell, and he's going to get passed by Folsom in the end. So Hot Rod Charlie, I think, pulls away for a win in this one, probably 4 or 5 lengths. Folsom in there second, Midnight Bourbon third, and I've got American Revolution hanging in there to run fifth. Like I said, not a bad horse. I'm not thinking, or not fifth, fourth rather. Not a bad horse. I'm thinking same thing with Speaker's Corner, but I think they're going to be too close to that pace to be able to end up on the front end of this one. Hot Rod Charlie. So there we got it. Hot Rod Charlie, I'm going with the win here. I think he gets his redemption after that disqualification. Flavian Pratt knows what it feels like to be taken down. I think he's going to take this one very seriously, and he's going to come off probably with a pretty impressive race. I'm thinking I got it at 148. He may go 147. Wouldn't be surprised. That's what he did in the Haskell. Don't think he's going to go any more than that, though. But I think Hot Rod Charlie's going to be looking good, and that will be the conversation. Is Hot Rod Charlie better than Essential Quality? And where will Medina Spirit stand after running in the Awesome Again, which probably won't face too much competition there, probably get another easy win, and people will probably be off of Medina Spirit going into the Breeders' Cup Classic. So that's what I'm thinking. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section there. I'm going 7, 1, 8, 10 once again. That's Hot Rod Charlie, Folsom, Midnight Bourbon third, and American Revolution in the fourth spot.